reached. For those in their place that were used to seeing them, the 1 seed had an interesting day. Those near the top of the AFC, Mac. When you look at the Broncos and the New England Patriots day relative to one another, one sort of gives you that confidence and one welcomes in a little doubt. What do you make of those 2 days?
Well, let's start with the team that kind of provided some doubt today, and not just because of them losing to the Buffalo Bills, and I'm talking about the New England Patriots and how they lost. At one point in time, they were up 21 points in that ball game. And if you're a video game player like I am, you put the sticks down when you get down 21
Friendly
points.
quit?
No question. You got to get up the sticks. But they allowed the Buffalo Bills, led by Josh Allen, to not only fight to get back into that ball game, but to win convincingly. And you were at home. So the way they lost that ball game, it's a bit alarming because of that 21-point lead at one point in time, and you're at home, and everything was working in your favor. But they still control their own destiny. But when you factor in the Denver Broncos, what they did today definitely gave all of us a sign of voters' confidence in their ability to not only get the #1 seed, but potentially take care of their business to get to San Francisco to participate in their Super Bowl. We know their defense has been heralded. They've been outstanding. Lead the league in sacks, 58 sacks. Once again, they had 3 sacks on Jordan Love. But the most impressive thing that I watched in this matchup was the play of Bo Nix, arguably his best performance so far this season. 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards, super efficient. Anytime Green Bay was trying to fight and claw back into this ball game, he made the necessary plays. So we know what their defense can do, and I think the only question marks we had with Denver was the consistency of Bo Nix, being able to sustain a high level of play. What we saw today, along with the coaching of Sean Payton, man, I mean, he really earned his keep, in my opinion, and I like their chances.
It was sort of those, can you win the big one with this guy? And he showed here on Sunday that you might be able to win the big one because of this guy, Emery. I know you're impressed with the accrued experience, not of just Bo, but this entire Denver Broncos team.
Right, they've played the same game all season long. This was the first time we saw the Patriots play a game like the Denver Broncos, where you're going to go through some adversity. Can you fight back and can you come out on top? We hadn't seen that yet from this football team, and they got their lip blooded a little bit this week by the Buffalo Bills, but we saw them try to figure out a way to get back, and they couldn't. But for the Broncos, especially with Bo Nix, we saw him fight through adversity. We saw him on that 4th and 3, instead of just trying to get the first down, he went for the touchdown. He took a shot down the sideline. Great throw to Cortland Sutton. Perfect throw, accurate, and he was able to buy time in the pocket. I thought he looked like a baby Josh Allen, and how you can't really rush him because he's going to make things difficult for your coverage unit, because he's going to break contain, find someone downfield. So the Broncos showed today that they can do what they've done all season long versus a good opponent. The Patriots, it was their first time being tested, and we saw how they failed that test today.
Moving off of that Patriots loss, it does delay the hats and the T-shirts that were in the building for another week, maybe another 2. But when you look at the full 3-week season ahead, the remainder of this regular season, you can see a path to a Buffalo Bills divisional championship, preventing the Patriots from doing what they haven't done since Tom Brady.
You absolutely can. And it's really not that crazy to see it, okay? We see their remaining schedules right here. The easiest route for the Buffalo Bills, more or less, to get this AFC East crown that they've been wearing for some time now, they went out, and the New England Patriots need to lose 1 game within the division. They have the Jets, they have the Dolphins left. Of course, they still have the Ravens. That's going to be a very difficult game next week. But because that game is not in the division, because of tiebreakers, what you really need for them to lose is against the Jets or against the Miami Dolphins. We don't think they're going to lose to the Jets. But that Dolphins game, right, with a lot of pride on the line for Miami, and they could maybe spoil some things for the New England Patriots, that is one to look for. So the door is not closed at all on the Buffalo Bills winning the AFC East, having a home playoff game in the final season there at Highmark Stadium. The New England Patriots having to go on the road when we were just talking last week about them being the #1 overall seed and taking the first week off in the playoffs. That road is there for the Buffalo Bills, and it started today by getting that victory over the New England Patriots.
Yeah, the door is open, but Josh Allen is the one kicking it down, Emery.
For that Bills team, though, they still have issues stopping the run. We saw Travion Henderson have a field day. So those 2 games against the Browns and also against the Eagles would worry me, not just for this. Obviously, it's not an AFC East opponent, but once they get into the postseason, will they be able to stop the run? That's going to be huge for them. I need to see something from them in these two games coming up.
It's a great
missing
point.
Ed Oliver. Definitely missing Ed Oliver in a big way.
It's a great point, and one that we're going to get the answer to over this 3-week sample size. Maybe, just maybe, in the coming weeks we will see a divisional champion in the New England Patriots, but there are other outcomes right there on the table as well. Let's shift our focus to the South and the AFC, guys, because it's not Sharpie season just yet for Indianapolis, but a 4th consecutive loss, although an entertaining one here with Phillip Rivers leading a drive, not enough in the end. If we're calling it a 2-team race right now in the South, Mac, between the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars, we saw a lot of good out of both of those teams, maybe specific to opposite sides of the ball for each. Which one do you offer your confidence to not just win that division, but maybe make a little run deeper into the playoffs come that time?
Before I answer that question, I'd be remiss if I don't give Jacksonville Jaguars some praise.
Trevor's playing some football.
Yes, they're playing some really good football led by their quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. The most important thing that he's doing now that they're benefiting from is protecting the football. So that's a big-time sign for their growth and their ability to get into the playoffs and make some things happen.
It feels like there's a but coming.
But
But
it is. Now, and follow me here. To answer your question, when you look at both teams that I believe are playoff caliber, I have more faith and more trust in the Houston Texans. Number one, they've already beaten the Jacksonville Jaguars. Remember, they beat Jacksonville with the backup quarterback in Davis Mills. Remember, they had to fight from behind. I think they scored 19 points in the 4th quarter to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars with Davis Mills. Now C.J. Stroud is back in the fold, and he's very, very comfortable. He's playing some of the best football that we've seen so far this season coming off of that injury. And their defense, if you don't love the Houston Texans defense, you just don't love defensive football. The way they attack the football, the way they hit you, the consistency in which they rush the opposing quarterbacks week in and week out. They put fear in you. So when you factor that into the equation and the confidence they established a lot of confidence when their franchise quarterback was not in the lineup because they knew they had to put the team on their back. But then when you look at everything else, Woody Marks is running the football with confidence. Nico Collins is showing up. Christian Kirk, Dalton Schultz. They got a lot of guys, the young rookie wide receivers from Iowa State. They got a lot of guys that have really upped their ante for them to be in this position. Because think about it like this. 2 months ago, the way they were playing, we probably felt like they have a shot to get to the playoffs. Something clicked.
0-3 start to the season.
0-3 start, and it started with their defense, and the job that DeMeco Ryans has done has been phenomenal, in my opinion. So I like Jacksonville chances, no question, but if I had to pick one or the other in terms of which team can make a deeper run, I got to go with the Houston Texans.
You call that flipping tables, moving chairs?
You better believe it.
More apt to flip and move are the Houston Texans in his eyes. Do you share that same opinion?
I do, and it's funny because when we look at this Houston Texans team, they sort of remind me from a vibes perspective and how they're winning these games. The 2017 Jaguars team that had the Leonard Fournette, the Jalen Murray, their defense was great. Their offense was figuring things out with Blake Bortles, and they found some ways to win some games. They just were able to have success. I think Houston's offense is still trying to, you love their passing game. Their running game, I think Jacksonville has a little bit more dynamic running ability. And they're getting their backs involved in the passing game. These guys are down there as downfield threats as receivers, but the defense is a separator here between Jacksonville and Houston. Houston has a dominant Super Bowl ready defense. Jacksonville has good players. They're playing good team defense. The offense, I think, may be slightly better than Houston, but that defense is what put Houston over the top.
You bring up the run game in Houston. It feels like we see Woody Marks in and out of football games for the better part of this month. We are one Woody out and not back in away from maybe changing opinions or having an even bigger question of that run game. For the good people of Duval?
Yeah, look, I know that they're probably going to get on us and on me. I'm also going to take Houston for the exact reasons that you guys just illuminated. But that, again, is with a healthy dose